Welcome to the Comedy Cellar, the best damn comedy room in town. Featuring the stars of Comedy Central, The Tonight Show, Saturday Night Live, The Late Show, comedy specials, and feature films. And now, put your hands together and welcome your host for this evening,
Andy Fiori.
Whoa! Hello, everybody. Thank you, Comedy Cellar producer. I think that's Mush back there.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining. Thanks, Mush. I appreciate everybody out there tuning in and watching. What a hell of a lineup we got tonight. What a nice, diverse, good-looking, all-male lineup. That's what I like in my comedy. Let's start in my bottom left. You know him. You love him. It's Ian Lara, everybody.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on, everybody?
Good to see you, Ian.
I'm good to see everyone. I'm happy to bring diversity to this roundtable.
And that voice you hear is the incomparable Nick Griffon, everybody.
Yay, me.
And of course, last but not least, coming to us all the way from Massachusetts, if I'm not wrong, Alingnon Mitra. Hey,
hello. How's everybody doing?
Well, I'm doing okay, man. I got baseball, the first opening night on in the background. It's back. Are you guys interested in that at all?
Not a lot.
Nick Griffon, everybody. Nick, are you much of a sports guy at all, though, Nick?
I am. I like. I like football and basketball are my two things.
Sure. I don't know. It just kind of felt like something normal to look forward to. Because that's the big thing for me in this whole thing was I just need something to look forward to. So hockey's back next week for me, and I'm excited. But Ian, are you a sports guy?
Yeah. I like basketball. And I'm Dominican, so legally I gotta watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to have it.
Half my family's baseball players.
Right. But yeah, like you said, it's just it's weird. No audience, but just like every comedy show I do, so it's normal in that sense.
Yeah. Well, Nick, speaking of football, I saw today that the Redskins, who we all, I guess, know, finally caved and changed their name, and
right.
they came up with the Washington football team. They really stayed up all night thinking of that one.
They had to have known they were going to have a lot of. I mean, what else can you say? Blowback. It's just so silly. I mean, it's obviously not the official name. They're waiting. It's a placeholder. But
right.
Wow, what a bad idea.
I know. I saw my favorite one. I think it might have been The Onion, where it was like Washington Redskins changed their name finally to DC Redskins. I thought that was great. Alingnon, how you doing? What's going on in Massachusetts, man?
Not much. I'm just home. I was in the basement for a long time, and now I'm in the upstairs. So I'm moving up.
Are you doing any shows, Alingnon, up there in the Massachusetts?
No, nothing live. I did a couple like Zoom stuff, but I'm terrified. I'm also like, I came here mainly because my folks are here, and if anything happened to them, I wanted to be here. So if I go out, I don't want to like give it to them or something like that. So not doing anything live.
Has anybody done anything live?
I've done.
I've done a few things.
Yeah, I've done a couple outdoors. It's been good. It's funny. I did an outdoor show at the Stand, and it was like a bunch of comics on it. And it was the first time I ever been on a show where like they were like, all right, so you're gonna do 15, and the comics were like, no, I'll do 7. I don't need to do 15.
And just joining us, Chris Red, everybody. How you doing, Chris?
Sorry I'm late. My 12-year-old cousin had a Zoom party, so I couldn't miss it.
Oh, no. Hey, man.
It's the right thing.
It's his birthday today. He's 12. But I had a Zoom party, and they were vastly similar.
I saw you got the red solo cup to make it like house party official.
Exactly. I also don't like dishes, so it doubles as that, too. But yeah, like, I'm just wait. You guys talking outside shows? What are we talking?
Yeah.
I have not
done any.
I have not done any yet, at all. But I had escaped New York after I was here for 3 months, before everything started opening back up. And then I went to Mississippi for 6 weeks. So when I was down there right as it was becoming a hot spot. So I was basically chasing hot spots for like the past few months.
You were giving it to people, it sounds like.
You said what?
It sounds like you were giving it to people.
Yeah. I was super spreading across the country. And, you know, it's a hefty job and someone has to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Johnny Appleseed of COVID.
Yeah. I was more like a tornado chaser, but COVID.
Yeah.
Where's my truck?
Yeah. But I was very jealous to see it happening. Was it fun? You said it was funny.
It was cool. It was just so fun to be around like the comedians, and everybody felt new. Like everybody felt like Attell was on the show, and even he was like, I haven't been on. Like I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Right.
He started playing the recorder. That was fun.
You started playing the recorder? Oh man. Yo, that's an open lane right now too. There's no hot recorder artists. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's a dope lane. He's
Nick,
smart.
have you done any?
I've not done any. I have one coming up next week, and I'm mildly worried about it, but not so much that I will take the time to listen to my act on tape and try to remember it. I'm freaking out, and there's ways to fix it, and I just won't do it.
I think everybody had that same comic procrastination. I know I did. I waited until about 6 hours before I had to drive to Pennsylvania for a headlining set before I was
Oh, really?
I better look at my notes.
How was it?
It's been 94 days.
Yeah.
It was good. It was basically like I did stand up for a tailgate, but it went
in cars
by.
or what?
I don't know, Ian or anybody. Did you guys feel it? I felt like I was racing, just like my pacing was gone.
Yeah, and you're not as quick. You don't have the quick
The fastball's not there.
Yeah.
Did you have like
Baseball
a
tonight.
amplifier or something?
Yeah, I did it through like a PA. It was with Soul Joel in Royersford, Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
A lot of people are doing that one.
Yeah. No, he's a good guy and he's putting on some decent shows. And the people were there. I got to 43 minutes and I was happy with that. So
Wow.
Nice.
Was it one of the ones with like people in cars or what was it?
yeah, basically they popped their trunks, brought their own drinks or whatever, and sat in kind of lawn chairs in a kind of big semicircle. So I mean, for what we have right now, it wasn't the worst thing.
Right.
I mean, I was screaming at people in Central Park last night, and that just looked like 80s New York City.
That was just for fun though, right? You want
Yeah, that was just Wednesday.
Can I ask this? Have any of you guys done like a long Zoom show? Because now I had a bunch of college dates and they all got moved to Zoom. So
you still get paid. That's
45 minutes.
great.
I have to do 45 minutes on Zoom.
Wait, for real?
Yeah.
Were you like standing in your family room?
I haven't done them yet. I don't know. I'm trying to get ideas. That's why I'm asking.
Oh, I have back and forths, bro. I'm big on back and forths because you can still pop your jokes off. But like, it's just something, people are doing it, which is crazy. But I don't have a setup in this one bedroom here in New York to be like, so I just don't want to bomb where I live.
Yeah, that's sacred.
It's like a sacred space.
Right, you take the space.
Yeah, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna bomb on Zoom and then like turn it off, and I'm like, but I'm still here. This is where I sleep, eat, masturbate. I don't need this.
Yeah.
So here's the wild thing. The colleges, they book it in packages now. So my college agent was like, all right, you're gonna close, but the first act is a piano player, which works over Zoom. The second act is a magician, which works over Zoom.
Right.
And comedy going third, which don't work at all over Zoom.
It was
like, maybe let me open.
Yeah, right. Maybe yeah. Or just like host throughout and have
right. Host throughout.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
But I like the shows that are more like the host has you on and then y'all just go back and forth about shit like that.
Like this.
Really fun. Yeah, like this is fucking great. And you can still get your jokes off and everything. Cause outside of that, I'm just calling friends who have jobs and just like back in the day before you start comedy, you just like the funny motherfucker at the water cooler.
Yeah.
Like, yo, you ever thought about heaven for real? Like, yo, stop calling me with this shit, Chris.
We've got a question from the Cellar audience. Somebody in the audience is asking if any of you guys have ever done any shows on Twitch, which I have not.
No. I've been playing Call of Duty a lot, so I've been thinking about jumping on and starting a Call of Duty.
Right.
So
I don't know. I'm not even really sure what Twitch is. Sorry, we went 0 for 5 here. But thank you for your question. If anybody else wants to ask us anything, we'll get one right one of these days. How else are you guys? Chris, you're playing a lot of video games. I'm in the middle of Last of Us 2 right now. How are you guys killing time? Alingnon, what are you up to?
I've been trying to read a little bit, but it's sad. I'm just like reading Harry Potter again.
Nice.
Really,
Yeah.
from the beginning?
I picked up book 6, and now I remembered none of it. So I was like, I don't know if I've ever read this book. So now I'm on to book 7.
Damn,
Pretty proud of myself.
that's dedication right there, man.
Yeah,
Did you have any second thoughts after the J.K. Rowling comments and stuff?
Right.
I don't care what she
That's when he
has to
decided to
say
read
on this stuff.
Yeah, I've read so many books. I've never talked to the author about like, what's your views on things?
I know, exactly.
I don't give a shit.
I do think it's weird that she said Dumbledore was gay after everything. That was weird to me. It's like so unnecessary. But outside of that.
So she just came out and said that. That's not like written in the books anywhere.
I mean,
I guess it's implied.
once you know he's gay, everything he's doing is like magical, and you assume it's because he's gay, but it's not.
Right.
It's just because he's a wizard.
Yeah, I guess it's still, for me at least, not hard to separate the artist from the art. You know, it's like Michael Jackson's the obvious one. You know, I'm still not like listening to Thriller and going, fuck this guy. I'm still enjoying Thriller. You know.
Yeah, I'm from Chicago. We grow up learning how to separate the monster from the art. That's just kind of how it has to go.
Second City Improv he's talking about.
Second City Improv and R. Kelly.
Yeah, you can see me and Nick weren't quite sure where you were going with that one.
I know. I kept waiting and waiting.
I was with Michael Jordan. I mean, yeah, he had a gambling problem, but
Sammy Sosa, what are we getting at?
Oh, Sammy Sosa's doing well.
Yeah, he is.
he seemed very happy on that last 30 for 30. He seemed like he's just a happy guy who enjoys life, man.
He's white now. Yeah. What's better?
Yo, he's like,
Great joke.
everything improved, bro. Everything.
Yeah, things are better now.
Ah, hilarious. Nick, you've got a poster of my favorite movie of all time up there behind you is Jaws. That's a great, cool Jaws poster.
Yeah, Jaws is a huge. I'm actually at my girlfriend's apartment, but yeah, I'm a giant Jaws fan. What did I just watch? I just actually watched Jurassic Park recently too, and that was just. It's one of those things you can't turn off once you see it.
Oh, the flip test. Yeah, for me. That's a good question right there. If you guys, what's your like number one movie that you're stuck at home? Like Jaws is one for me. Goodfellas is up there for me.
Goodfellas for sure.
Here's Shawshank.
Shawshank's a good one.
It's always on.
Yeah.
I saw my cousin Vinny the other day again.
My cousin Vinny? Yo, I haven't seen that in a minute.
My cousin Vinny holds up. That Marissa Tomei. Woo-wee.
Won an Oscar.
Yeah, she did win an Oscar.
Still holds up.
I saw
The Town is like one of my favorites.
Oh yeah, the Ben Affleck movie.
Yeah, man.
Never saw it.
You never saw it?
No, I know.
Oh, give it a watch.
Do yourself a favor. Just a bunch of thick Boston accents, robbing shit. It's fun.
Affleck makes a decent flick, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I caught Die Hard with a Vengeance the other day. The third
That was
one.
Samuel L. Jackson.
It's with Samuel L. Jackson plays Zeus, and you know who else is in it? Mr. Artie Fuqua.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Right at the beginning, a little bit of a touchy sign. I'm not going to say it, but Bruce Willis is walking through Harlem, and Artie Fuqua is one of the guys who chucks a basketball right at his head. And I was like, that's Artie. I never knew it was Artie in that scene before.
That's amazing. That's why he has so many suits. And that's
Yeah, those checks add up.
Love Artie, man. That's dope. I gotta
Absolutely.
go back and watch that shit just to see that scene.
I can't think of another one. I don't know.
I like the Departed a lot. I think
The Departed classic.
So classic.
It's anything Boston.
Anything
Yeah.
Boston.
He like a Boston.
Anything in general.
Boston
man.
and white.
I like nothing but white gangster. No. Tiger King. No, I'm saying.
There he is.
Wait, hold on.
Oh yeah, that's Artie.
Artie on the right.
Holy shit.
Mean Mug and Bruce.
I like that it's already in 7 versions of Scottie Pippen.
Artie didn't even know they were filming a movie.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, it's always fun when you see like one of your friends pop up in a movie. You're just like, Nick, I actually have a weird Nick Griffon sighting. Before we even knew each other, this was maybe like I was 2 years into comedy in like 2010, I guess. I was bartending at a place on 46th Street called Rosie O'Grady's. And I worked in like this front bar. And I was just more of a big comedy nerd than a comic. And I just saw you walk by like in the middle of the day. And I just went, Nick Griffon. And I think I shouted your name and you just kept on walking.
I'm so glad you said it was a bar because if you had said it was a movie, I was like, I never made a fucking movie. I was never in a fucking movie. How drunk was I?
Well, no, it's a good, always a fun game trying to spot people that you know. Nick, have you been writing quarantine stuff?
I've been writing a lot. I'm like Alingnon. I pretend to read, and then I take it to the bed and open the book up and then roll over and fucking go to sleep. And that's about the extent of my reading. I walk every day, run a little.
Nice.
Worry.
I thought I was writing, and then I did one of those outdoor shows, and I tried to perform the stuff that I wrote. It turns out I haven't been writing.
Yeah, dude. Same here.
That's my fear about it, man. I mean, I'm gonna do it, but it's like I got to a point in the beginning of it. I was like, oh, I know what to do. I'm gonna just work my way through this shit. And every time somebody would call me, I just sounded like a fucking convict. Yo, what you doing? I'm reading, I'm writing, I'm doing push-ups. You're about to be outside, And then, but then I'm like, what is this even for? So I started enjoying Twitter more, which now I know I'm in a dark place. I think.
Oh yeah.
I'm enjoying Twitter more.
Yeah,
I've not been able to get into the Twitter. I'm so off and on.
Yeah, but Nick, when you come on, it's usually a home run, man.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
They're few and far between, but they're usually dingers. By the way, does anybody have better or quicker growing hair than Alingnon Mitra? I swear your hair is lush and long every 2 months, man.
Oh, this is why I came on. I just needed to hear that. I can sign off now.
Does your hair grow quickly? Like, is that a thing?
No, I think it just I just don't cut it. So you see it long and then you're like, oh, this is growing a lot. But if I got it cut, it wouldn't be as long.
I don't know about this. Something fishy going on.
Yeah, I don't cut it and it also doesn't grow. So my shit, the middle of my shit looks like a runway. I hate that.
It's actually pretty mullety.
Hey, Andy, what's the score on the Yankee game right now?
It was 4-1 Yanks. It's in I got it out of my living room. I came into the bedroom.
It's still
Yankees 4-1.
Yeah.
But I will update you guys as soon as I can pull it up here. Yeah, Chris, are you a big sports guy?
Yeah, I missed the basketball game earlier today because I was working, but I know there's someone. Wait, maybe someone later or someone tomorrow.
Yeah, when does basketball come back?
I think next week.
It started today, right?
No, that's baseball.
Exhibition.
Baseball's on right now. Like opening night has happened. It's 4-1 Yankees in the top of the 6th, by the way.
But I think basketball was on earlier today, though.
Yeah, there was exhibition games. Yeah.
Oh, very cool. So by next week, you're gonna have 3 major sports back. You're gonna have hockey, baseball, and basketball back. That's gonna feel good for me. Like,
yeah, I'll have basketball back. Those other two, No, I'm glad they're trying to like get back to it, man. It's cool to see. It's cool to see the basketball players in that bubble, and a band of bubble. I still hate that Bubble Boys can't play, but it's all good,
Yeah, that's a weird little community you created down there in Disneyland, where cases spiked, and then they were like, "Let's bring the NBA down here."
Right.
We're like, you might have jumped ahead of that one.
Right, that's funny.
There was a couple baseball players that tested positive today, like opening day.
Yeah, Juan Soto for the Nationals and somebody else.
Yeah, Soto did today. I think.
Well, I mean, I guess it's unrealistic to think that, you know, everybody's going to have 100% negativity rate, but
Yeah.
if anything,
They're
these
not even
guys
letting
are, you know,
Toronto
in the prime of their
play.
lives and probably in the best shape.
They got to
on
get out
earth.
of there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So as long as they're not infecting other people.
If I was an athlete, I would definitely like already feel invincible anyway. So
Oh my God. In your 20s, yeah.
yeah, you like,
Millionaire, you got money.
Like, yeah, they're like cough in my mouth, bitch. I don't give a fuck. You know. But I hope they
Yeah,
say
it's kind of Nick, you've been with your girlfriend for a long time, or
Yeah, a long time. Yeah.
has anybody, I don't know you guys' relationship statuses, has anybody been like dating or had some relationship ups and downs? I'm single, so it's like,
yeah, I'm single too. I think the closest to dating is watching a Netflix movie together. And that's
really,
yeah, and that takes a while because you're like you want to start it at the same time, so you just like
you're not in the same house.
No, fuck that. We need results. I need results on paper, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a process, you know.
Yeah.
See me in person. I can't do the whole nah. I mean I tried and then nah.
Right. It is a good gauge too, because if it's like you're into the movie and she's not, that's a good you can be like, I don't know if this is gonna go anywhere, you know?
She doesn't
It's always The Departed.
Right. It's always The Departed.
Chris.
It's always Yo, I hope you like long movies that are very layered with nothing but white actors.
So yeah, no, it's been tough for us single fellas. You can't go out on dates. Are you doing the apps or anything?
I mean, I've never taken an app seriously, but I think it's dope that we like you talk to people a little bit more and you get deeper with people.
Yeah.
Quick, you know what I'm saying? But you also get to that point of like, oh, this ain't gonna work way quicker now because you have to talk more. So it's like hey, by a week and a half, you're like, I don't want it to use any more of my words with you. We're done. You know, that's
Right.
cool. That's cool to just kind of know that, or just get deeper on the other side of it. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's just all weird, bro. Every time I try to trick people, bro. Like, man, I wish I could just go sneak off with my friends and go to a cabin for the weekend. She's like, oh, I did that last week. Like, yeah, gotcha. You know. I'm skeptical, brother. It's dirty out here.
Yeah. Ian, what's your situation? What's your love life looking like?
Yeah, I'm on the same boat. One of the things I like about everything being closed is you could get away with just inviting a girl over because everything is closed.
Yeah, got nothing to do.
Yeah, perfect. It's
Nowhere to
perfect.
go.
Shit.
Right. It's like I want to take you out, but there's no way I could take you. So
Yeah.
just come to my house.
I wish I was broke in this time, like, because when I was broke and I was like, yo, let's go walk along a lake. You know what I mean? That'd have been like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's like
Now it's like, yo, he's thoughtful. Like he's
you know what I'm
thoughtful.
saying? Yeah, let's go sit in the grass somewhere and just like talk at a distance.
Yeah, that's where all that romance started. You know, let's go paddle a boat. I got money.
Yeah, right. That's a good point. Alingnon, how you doing up there in Massachusetts? Just you and the folks, or what?
Yeah, my brother just came a couple days ago, but he's quarantined in the basement because we're taking it super serious. So
Yeah, no, for sure.
Y'all, man.
Yeah. Are you guys are all super serious, or anybody breaking some laws?
I'm serious as fuck, man. I was down there with my folks in Mississippi, and somebody came over to fix the AC, and he didn't wear a mask in the house, and I almost beat this man's ass while he did a service. Like, I was like, yo, because my dad's high risk, so I lost the shit. Like, I'm very strict when it comes to this shit, man. Just because of the family. But if I knew I was immune, man, I'd be running around with my dick out, bro. I wouldn't give a fuck.
That's me. That's me. My dick is out right now.
Hey, has anybody gotten a test?
I did.
You did?
Yeah, I've had several. Yeah.
I got the antibody test and I had the antibodies.
Oh, beautiful.
I got both, but I haven't gotten the results yet.
Yeah.
I got the antibody test. It was negative. I was hoping I was just going to skate by. I didn't really ever feel badly, but I had heard people being asymptomatic and getting the antibodies. I was just fingers crossed that was going to be me. Ian, were you sick?
Yeah, I was sick in February, but then you just thought it was a cold. Like,
yeah, winter cold.
Right.
So I remember I was out in LA and I was sick And then the more I learned about it, I was like, yo, I had some of that. I had some of that. I had some of that. Then I went and took the antibody test and I had the antibodies. But nobody I was around got sick, which is wild. Because I remember I had like I had the body pain more than any. I never had like a fever or anything. I just had body aches. And I remember once, like my mom came to take care of me and she was fully taking care of me. She never got it. She never got sick or nothing.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the part where I think where before we knew this was a whole thing and you just kind of thought it was a flu or anything, it's that mental, because that's why I got the antibodies test, because mentally I was like, I kind of feel achy. I never really had a fever or anything, but it was probably just from being at home 23 hours out of 24 hours of the day.
Right. I wake up every day and think I got it.
Yeah. Anytime I have like a sore throat for 5 seconds, my ear hurt today. I was like, oh, COVID. Like every time something's going on, I'm like, oh, I got it. How do I fight? You know?
Oh, forget it, dude. Have you been hungover during this thing? It feels like a death sentence.
Yeah.
I did.
That's a symptom.
I had a headache.
Alcohol is a symptom.
I swear to God. Drinking a lot and waking up with a head aching, nigga. I got COVID.
Yeah,
oh, for sure. Absolutely. Nick, have you been? Are you still in New York City? Are you going out now that things have been opening up a little more, outside areas and shit like that?
Yeah, well, I spend about an hour outside a day, just walking or running, and well, the rest of the time I'm inside. I'm not paranoid. There's just nowhere to go. You know, I mean, I go do my little shopping, but.
Like not much has changed since before.
I had coffee with a friend today outside, and that was about it, man. I just do nothing. I mean, I get shit done, but that's about it.
Sure.
That's like a big you get shit done. That's huge. Like
that's like big because
that's not a little.
Because you definitely hit a slump where you're like, why does anything ever matter, bro?
Yeah,
right.
Why does that stretch too? Yeah,
right. And I did a couple outdoor shows, and I was like, all right, I'm about to try to get back into the rhythm of stand up. But then I watched the news, and they're like, oh, in the fall is gonna be a second wave. So I'm like, for what?
Yeah, dog. And we ain't even halfway through the first wave.
Yeah, like for what?
Wave crashing, son.
And then even when we get the vaccine, people aren't gonna take it.
Right.
I swear to God, there's gonna be dudes with trench coats with like, yo, I got the vaccine.
How do you guys feel about that? Would you jump right on that first wave of vaccine?
I'm gonna let the first wave go ahead and go, and then I'm gonna see how that shake, and then that second round I'm gonna jump right on that.
Yeah.
I'd probably take it right off the bat.
Yeah, you would, Nick?
If you can get it.
In my 50s, what am I gonna miss?
Yeah.
Were you a flu shot guy, Nick?
What am I gonna miss?
No, I've never had a flu shot.
I had it once in college, made me feel sick, never got it again, and knock on wood, never really had a bad
I've
flu.
never really had much problem.
I'm a flu shot guy. I fuck with the flu shots. I haven't had a flu in years.
Yeah.
Never had the flu, never had the shot.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I've had the shot and I've had the flu. I don't remember.
What the fuck? But you get hair though, so that shit evens out, man.
Yeah, that's one of the side
Those are
effects.
symptoms. Yeah.
You grow luxurious hair.
Yeah, I guess I would try it on the first wave. I don't see why not.
I feel like I'm not gonna be able to get it though. Like
I think it depends on how much Trump is pushing it. If Trump's like, this is it, I'm not taking it.
But the high risk people are gonna
point.
get it first, though, right? Like the high risk people are gonna get it first, and then the rich people, and then it's everybody else.
I think it's go by credit. So you on SNL, you probably gonna get it,
bro. I'm not gonna get it, bro, because look, when they had tests, that was the most humbling experience to know I'm not popping enough to get the early test. Because Idris Elba got the early test, like I got COVID. I'm like, nigga, I still don't know how the hell. What do I need to do? I got my agent on the phone, like, book me a movie, nigga. I need a test. Who knows?
Yeah, so Chris, you guys are in the summer break right now from SNL, right?
Yeah, we're in a summer break, so we'll see how shit shakes out. You know, everything's depending on everything. You know.
Sure.
You think they'll try to do it with no audience, like everything else?
That's what I was thinking.
I mean, I don't know. I think it's possible. I mean, there's plenty of sketch with no audience, but like that part of it is like is something that is fun to do. So I mean, I don't know. I feel like I have no idea, bro. I have no idea how it's gonna shake out. But I hope we can figure something out, man. Maybe people that's that dedicated, they'll like do a 2-week incubator period before they go and be part of the show. I don't know, but I don't know how.
I mean, people sat outside Rockefeller Plaza for a week on the street
during the cold, man. During the cold.
Yeah. I mean, if you could survive a week on New York City streets outside, you could probably do an incubation period in 8A.
I have nothing but love for those people because I have never loved anything that much, bro. Like, not even my own parents. They like, sit out in New York streets for a week in the cold. I'm like, you know what? I'll just go live alone. I don't know what to do.
Yeah. Well, that brings up a cool kind of topic. Did you guys ever go and see? Were you guys big comedy fans before you were in comedy and before you were working comics? Like, did you like? I went to Saturday Night Live in like '92.
Oh, whoa.
And I saw a great one. I saw Sharon Stone host and Pearl Jam musical guest.
That's
It
crazy.
was '92 or '93, but I was just such a big fan of comedy and stand-up. This is really why I got into it. We're at Alingnon. Did you ever like do anything like that? Like go to a taping or anything?
No, I mean, I didn't even know how people do it. I did go to, like, I used to watch a ton, but I don't think I ever really watched live stand-up because I didn't know how, like, I didn't know about comedy clubs. I just knew about specials.
Yeah. How did you take up stand-up?
I mean, I figured it out. I found out that people were doing open mics.
Right.
I started doing open mics. Yeah. The same.
Yeah, I know it sounds simple, but I guess everybody's got that weird kind of root. Like I was more of a fan of it. Like nobody ever told me they were like, you need to go get on stage. I was just like, I love stand-up. I want to try it. Nick, what was your path?
Just watching people on TV. I mean, I used to watch Letterman a lot when he was first starting, and all those young comics on there. And that just, I mean, I never really thought I could do it. And then I got into college and I ended up drinking at a bar that had an open mic night, and I got talked into it. And that pretty much was it.
Do you have jokes?
I mean, I thought they said, I think 3 to 5 minutes. I had about a minute and a half. And then I just hustled. I don't know what I was doing up there, but I got a couple laughs, and that was it, man. I was off.
Yeah. So watching Letterman in those early days and then getting that first Letterman appearance, because you had 11 or something like that?
Yeah, 11. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, try and, what the first time when you get that phone call that you're going to be on the show that you grew up, I
was on some shitty gig in the middle of nowhere, and it was pretty encouraging after all those years of being in some shit gig where no one's listening. Then someone calls and says you're going to be on Letterman. So I was out of my mind. I mean, I've been doing 30 years a year on the road for 30 years, or not up to then, but like 15 years. And then just, it was a blast.
Yeah.
Did you ever get to a point where like you got called for it and you were like, yeah, I know, I'll be there.
I think I kind of talked like that, but I was inside. I was like, holy fuck, I get to do it again.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's good to be such a cool film. I mean, because Nick, speaking for my generation of younger comics, you're one of our idols. So it's just always a thrill to be.
Oh, thanks, man.
No, not at all. Ian, how did you kind of get started?
I remember when I was in my freshman year of college, my then girlfriend, she took me to see Chris Rock at the Apollo to see when he was filming Kill the Messenger.
Ooh.
Yeah,
that's
and
nuts.
That was like dope. I was already a fan of stand-up.
Yeah.
But seeing that live, that was like dope. And then my junior year of college, I saw one of those shows that they put on at school, and it was actually Chris DiStefano was the comedian.
No shit.
But he killed. He murdered. Like that was the first time I was like, yo, like this is like he's a rock star. Like it was a bunch of black kids. And DiStefano just came on, started talking about Brooklyn, and was just leveling. Like the girls were just falling out of their seats. And I was like, I want to do that. So I just looked to see where they do open mics when I came back home. And then that's how I started.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah. Right.
Chris, what about you?
Man, I was trying to be a rapper before this, so I had to fail one dream to find another. But comedy has always been in my life. I always been watching specials. And I kind of used it to deal with anxiety because I was always nervous around people. I had social anxiety, so I would use funny to just like.
Sure. Yeah, I think a lot of us.
Yeah, but like honestly, it was an improv institution, bro. And I didn't take a stand-up class because those are trash. But I took an improv class and I met some folks and I met a couple stand-ups in Chicago. And then I ended up going out to some clubs after that into this open mic. And I was like, fuck, this is the hustle I want. This is dope. And I went up and I had like, I written down word for word my whole set. And I was like basically reading it. And I was getting
That's what I used to do.
Bro, I was getting laughs and shit, and it was the worst thing that could have happened. Worse than best thing, because I was like hooked immediately, but then it was like for the next year, I never got that many laughs. I was just
yeah.
consistently, but I loved it, dude. It got me hooked immediately, and I started doing all of the shit, like all the improv, to stand up. I wanted to do it all and see how far I could get. And
right.
And that was 11 years ago. So never.
Fantastic, man. Was Saturday Night Live on your radar at all back then, or did that come about in like a more organic way?
I was improvising at Second City, so they used to praise it a lot, and I like different generations of it, but we weren't like a Saturday Night Live household. We didn't hate it, but we didn't follow it and watch it every night as a family and like that. So for me, it was like, yeah, I want to do that, but also didn't want to hold it to a place where if I don't get it, it'll destroy me and shit. So I was like, I don't really need that because I'm like great at deflection, my therapist says. So once I ended up getting it, I was like, oh yeah, nigga, I do want this, and it was dope to get, but it was dope to walk through the hallway and kind of see the people there, and especially the people my color there, and I'd be like, oh man, I want to add another name to that wall, bro. So
yeah.
Was that the first call you got like in your whole career where you was like shocked, like Nick's first call for Letterman, where you was like, damn, like, or at that point were you numb to it?
Bro, I'm never numb to this, dog. I'm never numb. I think when you get numb, you become a psychopath.
Sure.
But it's I remember the call, dog. I was in Detroit and I was doing the show at this club, and it was a hood club, and it was fucking hard, and I was like doing my thing, but it was a hard fucking club, bro. And I was just glad to be having a good time. I kicked it with them that night, so I was hungover, and I got a call, and I had no pants on, and they were like, Lauren Michaels on the phone. I'm like, oh, who, Nick? Oh, let me put the pants on. I put the pants on for the call, bro, like he could see me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it was the shit. Like I didn't expect to be that excited, but I very much was. Yeah.
It should be your autobiography. I got a call and no pants on.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna take that, bro. I'm gonna take on it.
I love comics history stories. So since this is the Comedy Cellar show, another thing I'm fascinated with is obviously Comedy Cellar, best comedy club in the world, in my opinion. I love people's audition stories and getting past the cellar, how they kind of have that route. Nick, you're the no offense, but you're the senior. You've been there the longest. How did you start at the club? What was kind of your inroads to the cellar?
Well, I got Alan Havey and Attell to recommend me, and
this was Esty?
This was Esty,
yep.
Pardon me. And just like most nights at the cellar, it was really hot. It wasn't very hard to do well. I mean, it was just a hot audience. And it went really well. And it was only like 6 minutes. And, she just took me upstairs and sat me down, and we did the little phone number schedule thing. And it was a blast, man. But they were so hot. It was crazy. Yeah. I've been playing, I mean, God bless them, stand up New York where there's 6 people and no one's doing anything, and it's crazy. And
do you remember like who was hosting, who you had to follow? Were you nervous?
Keith Robinson. Woo! Keith. You know what's funny is because they didn't know me at the cellar, and I told Keith, I said, right before I went up, I go, oh, my credits are, I did Letterman 4 times. And he goes, I don't give a fuck.
I don't care.
That's the Keith answer right there, boy.
Very cool, man. Alingnon, what about you?
I've been on Last Comic Standing, and I saw like a lot of the people from my season had gotten past at the cellar, and I just moved to New York City, so I was like, it was like the furthest thing from my radar. I was like, let me get into stand-up New York first. But these other people had gotten in, so I reached out to a couple of the comics, and I got just emailed Esty, and Esty was like, oh yeah, come in for the audition. And then like the day of the audition, she was like, oh no, we can't do it today. I was like, okay. And then I emailed again a couple like weeks later. Didn't hear anything. Then I was like, well, that was it. Good run. But then I had worked with Rondell Sheridan, who was like, at the Cellar when it, back in the day. And he was like, oh, do you work at the Cellar? I was like, no. And he's like, oh, well, look, I'm there. I'll mention you to Esty. So he mentioned me when he was back in town, and that's when Esty reached out again to set up the audition. Came in, I forget who hosted, but Ryan Hamilton was up first, demolished.
Tough follow.
Yeah.
Well, I actually thought it was great because like they were just geared to go. I didn't even get to my closer because they were just like that hot, and I was just terrified. Everybody was like, just don't run the light. So that's
one of the major pieces of advice I ever got was do not run that light. Do not run the light. I didn't get. I maybe did 3.5, 4 minutes because Seton Smith was hosting. I followed Jim Norton, and I didn't even get to my planned set, but it was a little nerve-wracking. But you get that first kind of pop because Nick, you're right, they're so hot. But then it just gives you that pause, at least for me, to just be like, oh, you've done this a million times. This is just like anything else,
Yeah.
Chris, what about you?
Well, I moved here with the job, so to New York with the job. But I had been here before, and I had kind of been around the Cellar, and I had a set or two, and they were good. They were good. They were crazy, but I didn't really talk to Esty at all. Then I got here and had a job, and I was getting a couple spots. But it was still like I was still proving myself though. It's like just because you on SNL don't mean shit, fam. Are you a stand-up for real? Like, are you a stand-up for real? You gonna come here and tell SNL stories? Right. So after that first year, it was very much like I was just trying to kill as much as I fucking could, and like bow. And I will say I've never been more in love with a club than I am with the Cellar, bro. Like that crowd is smart. And they put me behind a tail maybe every fucking day for the first half of my first year there. And it was like, bro, I was like, yo, I'm saucy with crowd work. Now I saw a tail and I'm like, damn, that nigga good. Okay.
Oh, the best.
He took care of everything. I'm gonna get up. But that's what my favorite thing is, man. You following legends, you following the greats, bro. Like every night on a fucking Tuesday, you following some of the best people doing this shit. So for me, it made me fall in love with that shit. And then when I got invited to brunch, I was like, okay, so I'm in now. I'm in.
Brunch is,
Very cool. We got a question from the Cellar audience, and then we'll get to Ian's story. What do you guys think of the Comedy Store in Los Angeles?
I've only been there once.
I love it. For real?
Yeah.
Damn. I love the Comedy Store. It's the closest you get to the Cellar in LA. Yeah. Outside of a few like backyard shows that are just crazy popping out there, the Cellar is fucking fire, bro. Like it's yes, you can't just throw anything up there at the wall, bro. Yeah, you gotta come in there with your shit, and and you got like it's a massive hangout for comics too, which is dope.
Sure. But that I do like the Comedy Store. Like Nick, I've only performed there a handful of times, but it is so big, and it's got those 3 massive rooms on one spot.
Yeah.
You sometimes don't get that intimacy at the Cellar. Like I love the Cellar table, and then there's just now of course we got the Fat Black and the VU, right. But it's just something like TV shows have come out of just the Cellar table on its own.
Yeah, that table thing is special for the Cellar, bro. And comedy Store is like gangs of the tables. Like it's you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
It's definitely just broken up like that. It's a different energy, but the intimacy that I haven't seen that shit anywhere, dude. I really haven't.
Follow-up question. Thank you for listening, everybody, and tuning in. Follow-up question: how's everybody? This might be personal, but the question is, how's everybody making money right now?
Drugs.
Chris is doing fine. Everybody else is
selling Oxycontin for the low.
I'm selling Tide Pods to teenagers.
I'm selling COVID vaccines.
Hey, my guy.
I'm getting government assistance right now.
Right. Yeah, don't think we're not above it, caller.
Shit.
Yeah, I mean, the like we talked about at the beginning, sometimes outdoor shows are coming, but nothing really paying the bills. Sound Exchange, I guess residuals a little bit is helping, but yeah, it's a really tighten the belt scenario. Hopefully, not that much longer.
Saving what you made, man. Saving what you made until our damn industry comes back.
Absolutely. But I didn't want to leave Ian out. Ian, you're kind of newer to the Cellar within like the last year. Am I right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm definitely.
What was your path in?
I had performed at the Fat Black a couple times because Mark Norman, he used to let me open for him at the Fat Black often, and he was trying to get me in at the time, and I had done a couple things. I've done some Comedy Central things, some NBC things, but I did Fallon, the Tonight Show in November, and when you running it for the Tonight Show, you come in, Michael, the booker, he comes in, and then you go to the Cellar, and you come in with like a different aura, because you got the whole you got the whole team there. That's like, oh yeah, he's doing Fallon tomorrow. He got to go up next, So that gives you like a little bit of confidence. And when I did that, when I was running myself for Fallon, that was the first time I did the Underground, and I had like
I saw that set.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I remember that shit, dog. That shit was dope.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. That was like because when you running for a late night spot, you kind of lose confidence in everything. You're like, yo, I'm a bomb.
Sure.
Yeah. You feel like you're starting over.
I can't believe they let me do this. Like,
right.
So that set at the Cellar was when I was like, all right, I think I could do this. Long story short, Norman had talked to Liz and Esty about getting me an audition. So they got me an audition, but they put it. My audition was at Fat Black up in the upstairs room.
Ooh, which can be probably the toughest of the three rooms.
I hated that room. Before I started working it. I hated it. And Will was hosting, Will Sylvince, which I've seen Will host before, and murder, absolute destroy, get the crowd going. But for this particular time, I felt like he was like, I'm not gonna make anything easy for you, brother. You have to get away home.
No. And if you kill, you're usually pretty good.
I went up first. Like he was like my bad, and just brought me up.
Oh Jesus Christ!
He was like my bad and just brought me up, and I didn't have a particularly good set. Like I had an okay set. Like it had waves. Like some jokes would, and then some jokes would hit. But I kind of stood there. When you kind of like, all right, I'm a bomb, but I'm gonna do it with pride, and you take it on the chest like a pro. Yeah. Like if you saw it on mute, you would have thought I was killing. If you saw it on mute, because of the swag. So, anyways, I leave there. Nobody say nothing to me. I leave by Liz. I never met Esty. Nobody said nothing to me. I just went home. I didn't know nothing. A couple days later, like I get a text from Liz, and she was like, "Hey, welcome to the Cellar. Like send the text you get. Like, oh, send."
That's
all
got to be a
Oh,
nice
wow.
feeling, man.
So I was super excited, and then I did a couple spots, and then they put me on a brunch show, and it was the first time I actually met Esty. Like I saw her, and I was like, "Hey, Esty, thank you so much. I'm Ian. Thank you so much for allowing me to, such a legendary club. I appreciate it." And she's like, "Oh yeah, I know." She's like, "How you think you got in?" Like, "I know about you."
Right.
I'm gonna go. She's like, "I'm gonna go watch you downstairs."
You don't mince words.
Right.
I was like, "Nah, you don't gotta watch me. I'm already in."
Hey, aren't you busy?
I'm like, "Nah, you don't have to come down." Like, you don't have to come down. It's cool. I'm already in. But yeah, she came down, and I just happened to have a good set, which was the first time where I was like, okay, like. You feel like you belong there, because you always feel like you're a fraud when you see the pictures on the wall of everybody who performed.
Yeah.
There. Well, like you said, it's and COVID, like my whole career, what I wanted to do was perform at the Cellar, and I got in
Same.
in December. I got in January, and then I was in there 3 months, and they was showing me love, and then I remember the week that they shut everything down. That was like the first week where I looked at my spot list and I was like, damn, I'm working.
Yeah, it's a great
And then the
feeling.
guy was like, nah, you're not working.
Nah, son, you not at all. Bro, I couldn't wait to get back to New York. I was like coming off of a tour, like I was like finally back home. Like I'm about to run this whole week off. I'm about to be at the Cellar every night. Right. And they closed that shit that next day. I was like, why? Lord damn. Gee.
Right.
Yeah. I had I guess I was in the Fat Black that Thursday before they shut everything down, and they were already doing the half capacity.
Yeah.
And it was bleak. You
Yeah.
know, like it was weird.
Yeah. I remember
jarring?
it's so funny because I remember like a month before Ryan Reese, like he knew all this was coming. Like he was like I remember he was like wearing gloves like in like January before it was mainstream. He's wearing a mask and gloves, and he was like, "Yeah, the world is gonna end. Like this is all going away." Like, and I was like, "Nah, you're
January is suspiciously early.
Yeah. Like, did he like commit a murder? You just saw him at the wrong time.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if
Dexter.
he ate a bat. I don't know but how he knew, but
It's
he
all going in. It's all going in.
He was like, all this is going away soon, and he was right. Like a month later, the whole thing shut down.
It's crazy.
Yeah, well, god damn it. Mush, are we running out of time here or what?
10 minutes.
Oh, 10 minutes. Oh, okay, cool. That was my cue to end us early. But anyway, Ian, you brought up a good point, though. Nick, I think you probably speak to this. Does that late night set, when you run it and you run it and you run it, Nick, did you ever start to like lose confidence in the original set that got you the late night spot to begin with? You go, I know this was funny for a reason, but I've run it so many times. Do you start to lose confidence a little bit?
Yeah, I think everyone here who's done those shows, we've all done those shows, and it's not a natural thing to go into a comedy club and work on 5 minutes. It just,
Right.
And so, yeah, you have these sets that are less than spectacular. You know, the night before your big show, it's a fucking nightmare. You know, it's like Ian was saying, you just, you start to wonder, do I even know what the fuck I'm doing anymore? You know, why am I I remember once being in the off stage, right to walk on and let him and thinking, I got to get out of here. I got to get the fuck out of here, you know, because I was just so scared. I was just terrified. And then, you know, you tell one joke and it's fine, but and everybody knows, and Chris may be better than anyone because of the Saturday Night Live, but the audience wants to laugh at those TV shows. They're prompted to laugh. They're not drunk. They're focused.
Right.
Yeah. They really want that shit, but it's like we put so much pressure on ourselves.
Right.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, just like those especially that last week working up into the fucking performance, it's like you questioning other jokes. I remember before I would just like do a set just for me, but before I'm like working a TV set, and it's like, oh, these jokes are so much more fun than the fucking jokes I'm about to do. Why I gotta do this shit?
Sure.
But then you do it and it feels really good when it's going. And you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, this is why I did that work. But it's so annoying working up to that shit though, man.
And I had the thing where like my set got approved exactly how I submitted it. So I had
Wow, that's
the end. Like I'm like, I can't even blame it on the producers. Like if it don't go well, I can't be like, yo, they changed this joke. They changed
all your ideas.
Yeah. So well, to pull back the curtain. For those people listening out there, usually you submit a set for a late night show and then you work with the booker or the producer, whoever, and they work very closely with you to make changes, add things, take things away. So what you might have gotten in on is not necessarily the end product that goes up and that you see on TV. So that's kind of pretty rare, Ian, that it was from start to finish the same thing.
Right. Yeah. I was lucky. Like they gave me no notes. They was like, you could do it exactly how. But then I was speaking to all the like I spoke to Sam Morrell, I spoke to Mark Norman, and they were all telling me how like they had stuff changed. And then I was like, damn, I kind of wish I had stuff changed because I thought it was gonna bomb, so I could be like, yo, but that's not how I do it. It bombed. They let me say the N-word. I say the N-word. They let me say it.
Like, you gotta hear that nigga to really understand. You know what I'm saying? You gotta really hear that shit, bro. Like, you know.
I had the same excuse in my set. We've got one more question from the audience. Sorry, I wish I could say anybody's names, but it all just says private. So thank you guys again for watching and tuning in. This question is open to anybody. What do you guys think of Zoom gimmick shows like Jeff Ross roasting people over Zoom? Alingnon, you want to field that one first?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know that was going on. I think that's probably like the best use of it, actually. If you can interact with like the people, that's probably like Zoom shows otherwise are pretty bleak because you're just like yelling into the wind. But if you're actually interacting with people, that's probably pretty great. Yeah, I think that's fine. I wouldn't call it a gimmick show. I mean, that's what Jeff does.
Don't kill the messenger. I think the roast format's probably the most accessible kind of thing you can do over Zoom, right? Because you can just then look at somebody and then take off,
100%, man. Like I think theme shows in general is a better approach to Zoom than anything else, because it's just like there's a game, like that game format in this format is the best. And roasting, that's fire, because you get to see people's lives and they're usually just showing up in whatever the fuck they wear at home, and that's a lot of great material to roast.
Yeah, you can see their homes. You can see
all their homes. See how they doing. Are you destitute, motherfucker? Nah, that's just dope though, man. I didn't know he was doing that on Zoom. I thought he was doing that on IG Live, but I'm a fan of that shit.
Absolutely. Well, we're getting the wrap sign. So again, thank you guys for tuning in and watching. Cellar is here every single night at 8:30, doing these shows, different lineup every night of the week. And let's go. Thank Nick Griffon. Nick, do you want to plug anything? Is there anybody can find you?
You can do the Nick Griffon on Twitter. That's about it.
Very cool. Alingnon Mitra, everybody. Alingnon, any last words?
Yeah, at Alingnon Mitra, wherever you want to check that out.
Beautiful. Ian Lara.
Yeah, at Ian Lara Live.
Very cool. Chris Red.
Chris Red is on Instagram. I do improvised debates on Mondays, so holla at me.
All right, guys. Well, thank
Good
you
to see you
again. My name's
guys.
Andy Fiori.
See y'all too, man.
Hopefully, we'll see all you guys in person soon.
Great